Welcome to the Game of Life Mentoring Podcast. Happy National Mentoring Month. I'm your host, Gale Nelson, President and CEO of Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Miami. And I am so pleased to have you all with us today. Again, January is National Mentoring Month. And today we are celebrating in a big way. And so coming up next on the show, we have a board member as well as a graduating little sister who's also a Take Stock Scholar. More to come on that. Let's bring them in right now. Let's bring in our board member, Josh Prever, and we'll also bring in our little sister, Anna Rodriguez. Here we go. Happy National Mentoring Month. It is so good to see board member, Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Miami, board member Josh Prever, and also Anna Belen Rodriguez. How'd I do on the name, Anna?
I don't even know what to say. I am super excited. Thank you so much for the invitation. Thank you for allowing me to be here. And, I'm just happy.
Oh, we're happy for you. Josh just left us for some reason. Josh, quit hitting buttons, brother. Bring that video back and unmute. We're going to get to you in just a minute. There we go. Go ahead and unmute, Josh Prever. Go ahead and unmute, my friend. There we go. Good morning to you, Josh.
Good morning. Good morning.
So it's so good having you both. And again, welcome to the Game of Life. We are broadcasting live on YouTube and on the Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Miami Facebook page as well. And I'm just pleased. Let me just, by way of introduction, welcome again, incredible board member, Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Miami, Josh Prever, and certainly a little sister and Take Stock Scholar, Anna Belen Rodriguez. So Josh, let's start with you. As we talk about leadership, I like our audience getting to know our guests. Tell us a little bit about your professional journey and what you do today.
Sure. Thanks, Gail. It's really a pleasure to be here and to highlight some of the great works that Take Stock and Big Brothers Big Sisters does, and to have someone like Anna on the program with us is fantastic. So my background, I'm a first generation lawyer. No one in my family, had gone to grad school sort of continuously, from high school to undergrad to graduate school. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and so I chose law school, which I call the great American babysitter in a lot of ways. And so I went to law school and became a litigator, and I've been doing this now for 20 years. I lived in DC for about 2 years, and the rest of my time I've been practicing here in South Florida. I've been with some some big firms. Currently I'm with Holland, which has about 1,400 lawyers throughout the world. It's an incredible organization, and I'm resident in their Fort Lauderdale office, and also work quite a bit in their Miami office.
Well, and Josh, let me just ask you this, and as you well know, and as we think about partnerships, collaborations, this thing went to another level in June of 2018. And we want to make sure, and in this particular podcast during National Mentoring Month, to really educate all of our listeners and inform our listeners that in June of 2018, Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Miami became the lead agency for Take Stock in Children, Take Stock in Children Miami, the Miami affiliate. And it could not have been a better partnership, a better collaboration. And now, Josh, as a board member, and you certainly served on the leadership council of Take Stock in Children as well, but now as a board member, how does this combination of mentoring and scholarships, why is it so important to have that as part of our continuing education portfolio?
So in my perspective, it's almost like chocolate and peanut butter. They just go really well together. And so, the whole concept behind Big Brothers, Big Sisters is to make sure that there is the availability of people who could provide the younger generation with guidance when they have questions. They could bring it to them, and they have someone who is other than a parent or guardian, sometimes that they could bring a different perspective. And because you're not there day in, day out, I have a 16-year-old daughter, I could tell her something, and, her eyes will start, here and then roll all the way back into her head. And somebody will say the same exact thing a few days later, and she'll take it as the gospel. And, for me, I've learned over time that I have to say, and I have to say, hey, I just told you that 2 or 3 days ago, and now I just let her go ahead and run with it. And it's the same advice I would have given, and in fact did give, and now she's embraced it. For Take Stock, what we do is we take that mentoring and we kind of put it on steroids, because we complement it with scholarships that are available to take stock in children scholars. And we're able to give them both 2-year or 4-year state college for Florida tuition. So that way, all of the great skills that they've been able to learn through their mentors during high school, now they're able to go ahead and go to college, free of cost on the tuition side. And then they've built up this wonderful program, so that way we don't abandon them and leave them in high school. We continue that mentoring and support as they enter into college in various different levels. And so it's, I started off by saying it's, chocolate and peanut butter, two of my greatest, flavor combinations in the world, and now you've got that with Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and Take Stock in Children, really being able to take it to the next level of not just go ahead and keeping and staying with them in high school and younger, but going all the way through the college level. And I'm glad to see that Anna is nodding her head, because it's really, it really is about making sure that the kids have the best options possible.
And Josh, I tell you what, after this show, there is no doubt that I'm getting a Reese's peanut butter cup, because you mentioned that twice. And again, mentorship plus scholarship equals success. And Reese's, if you're listening, hey, we can work on a partnership for scholarships and mentorship as well. Just saying. Speaking of success, my. I was talking to Marianne Weiss, our VP of Continuing Education, and she appropriately called Anna Belen Rodriguez our golden child. So let's start about getting to know you, Anna. And we're so proud of you, little sis. Tell us your story as you immigrated here from Cuba.
Well, it's a little bit of a complicated story. Well, we arrived with my family, my parents, when I was 15 years old. That was around 4 years ago. And it's not like I was 3. I already had my own life. I knew what I liked. I knew what I like. I was raised already in another country. So it was a little bit of complicated situation once I started a new school. I didn't know much English. I didn't know how the system worked. It was completely different compared to Cuba. So it was a whole new life. My parents, they had to adapt. We were living in our uncle's house. So thank God that he provided that for us, because not all immigrant families have that possibility of having a shelter, someone there to provide, help. And, it was just many new experiences, a whole new adventure, new friends, new people, getting to know how it worked, the vaccines. I remember I went to get 12 vaccines one day just because I had to start school 2 days after. And it was just crazy because, we had family members that were there. We had family members that were like, hey, I know you don't know this, but you need this. And, that was just amazing. And it was a lot of struggle. We're still, trying to improve, of course, but, we're there.
And speaking of that, and what high school did you end up going to?
Right. So I started going to Miami Southridge. That was my first high school. I went there for 9th grade. I didn't know much. It was a huge school for me. 3,000 students, 5,000 students. I don't even remember. It was full of people. There was never enough time to know so many people. And, it was kind of difficult for me because, as like I said, everything was in English. And I was able to meet groups of students, mostly Hispanics, because I was able to be more comfortable with them, of course. But once I started learning, I was able to ask more English questions, and I was able to know more American or, different culture students, and I was able to get more integrated in the society. And as well as, I remember my first quarter, I got 2 B's, and all of the other ones were A's, and I was like, why, whatever. And I at the moment, I didn't realize how great that was. At the moment, I didn't realize that, I just came from Cuba. It's not that bad. and it's just like myself, since I was from Cuba, I still had that view of mine that, like I can do so much better. I can do so much, I can do good. So, but Southridge prepared me for the beginning. And then I was able to move to Color Bay Senior High School in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, which was more of an elevated academical school, sorry. It's more of an academic, the High Southridge was more of a sports school. And there I was able to learn and grow more as a, let's say, not a professional, but a student. I was able to get more my college classes and stuff like that. So I believe Southridge prepared me, and then Color Bay Senior High was able to put me strong as a student to know what I wanted.
And let's stay there for a minute. So when you went to Cutler Bay, you then became a part of our school to work program. You were matched at the Miami Seaquarium. Tell us
Correct.
about that experience.
Correct. So, well, I became part of Take Stock in Children in Southridge.
That's right.
Correct. I became in part in Southridge. I remember my advisor told me, hey, I have this program, whatever. And I was so excited. I was like, yeah, let's go. So I applied, whatever. And then I was able to move that program in Color Bay. And I became part of the school to work program when I was in 10th grade. That's when I became part of Big Brothers Big Sisters. And I was really excited because I was like, oh, I already have a mentor, but I'm going to have a second mentor. And I want to have so much opportunities. It was just amazing because I had my own business marketing mentor. Like I had my own advice, excuse me, for everything that I wanted to know. Like it was really good. It was really good. And it was just amazing to have that one-to-one connection with one person that knows exactly where you want to go. So, and it's not so much about being part of the school to work program. It was about everything else that came with it. It was about the emails, the invitations, the hey, you can participate in this. The hey, this is a really great program. You should look into it. Or hey, can you participate in our workshop? Or like there's just so much that I don't even know where to start.
Well, let Josh check this out. This young lady gets involved with Take Stock in Children at Southridge High School. Then she's now dually enrolled when she's at Cutler Bay High School. So mentorship and scholarship potential and opportunity as a freshman. And now a little sister in the school to work program. So now, ladies and gentlemen, and Josh, watch this. Anna Belen Rodriguez. I'm giving you your full name because I just like saying it.
Oh my God.
Tell America, tell the world, how well did you do academically? And please be specific. I know you're very humble, and you're a little girl, a young lady, because you're in high school, immigrating from Cuba, learning the language. Let's put this in perspective. You got a B, and you're like, okay, B does not stand for bad. B is pretty good academically, but you recognize that. So with the Take Stock investment, with being a little sister, having that encouragement, tell us how well you did academically.
Wow. Like I said, I don't even know where to start. Having a mentor meant so much to me, so much, especially because I was new to the country, and having a mentor meant, hey, this is the best thing you should do. You should take these classes first. You should do this, whatever. I received so much information, and it's not only about the opportunities they offer you. It's about you taking advantage of those opportunities, because a mentor can only do so much. You have to do the rest of the work, which is, hey, I'm gonna send you an email with the information about this scholarship. I think you should apply. It's really important. It's really nice. Like they take into consideration Big Brothers and Sisters students. And it's your work to do it. It's your job to be like, wow, this is good. Well, let's just get to the point. By being part of Big Brothers and Sisters and Take Stock in Children, I was able to apply to many scholarships, and I was able to not only finish my high school, because I'm now in college, finish my high school with straight A's. That's just me personally because, I'm like, but, B's are great.
A's are better.
But yeah, but B's are great. I was able to become a scholar for multiple scholarships. Thank God, and thank every one of you, especially let's say the Lottie Brenner Scholarship, which meant so much to me. Thank you so much to Miriam, Anita, and Marianne, and Mr. Gale, everybody. I was able to become part of that scholarship, which has a really nice story. And I know like the persons that are directing it, they know my story as well, and they know that they connect with me, and that's just amazing. I'm also scholar for the 5 Miller Scholarship, taken by Big Brothers Big Sisters. I'm also scholar for, Florida Prepaid Plan by Take Stock in Children, and One Pulse Foundation scholarship as well, the Templeton Scholarship, Girls on the Rise Scholarship.
We only have so much time now, and gosh, I mean, my goodness.
I don't know. I don't know what to stop. I'm sorry.
So here's a question.
No, I mean, that's amazing. It's amazing. And, I mean, that's it. I think, Anna, the point that you made is that you could be presented with the opportunities and told of, the great things that are available, but without the grit and the drive, that you and thankfully, others, have, those opportunities, just kind of lay there on the shelf. But it's through that hard work that, you're able to do something with it. And, just the fact that you were able to rattle off all of those organizations that, recognized all of the incredible and hard work that you did. I mean, that's proof in the pudding right there. It shows that the program works. And it's just a beautiful thing to hear.
And Josh, thank you for that. And let's pause for a minute. What was your GPA when you graduated from high school? Give me that GPA.
Well, it was a 4.89 something. I don't know. Yeah, 892.
Okay.
It's pretty high. It's pretty high to my perspective. I had other students in the class that were higher than that, but I was so happy with my GPA.
Immigrated from Cuba as a young lady, learning the language. You graduated in your top what? You were in the top 5 of your graduating class. Is that correct?
Yes.
I've done some research on you, Anna Belen Rodriguez. I know the answers to these questions, so I appreciate your humility, but we are showing the power of mentorship and scholarship here with Josh Prever, board member, an incredible Take Stock scholar, a little sister that's doing big things, Lori Brenner, scholarship recipient, Florida Prepaid Scholarship recipient, 5 Miller's Scholarship, soak it all up, little sis, 5 Miller Scholarship recipient, and a Templeton Scholar, just to name a few. So let me just pause and thank all those incredible people. You called out Miriam and Nada. They're listening right now live. Shout out, much love to Miriam, Nada, and the entire Lori Brenner Scholarship committee doing their thing, investing in our future. And I just want to say, Anna, when we think about that significant investment from Take Stock in Children, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and a host of other philanthropists, if you will, what does that educational investment mean to you and your family?
Wow. It meant so much. It meant the opportunity to, hey, you can do what you came here for. I know you came here to be better, to improve society, in the society, to improve economically. And here, this is the opportunity for you to do all of that, all of your dreams. Here it is. My parents have always been there. My parents have always been there for me. And even if I wasn't able to acquire these scholarships, this amazing mentorship, whatever, they will do whatever it took for me to improve, for me to succeed. But having this organizations, those people that are still there for me, it just means so much. It means, hey, we believe in what you're doing. We believe that you can do so much with this. That's why I'm giving it to you. And I'm still grateful. I was thinking like 2 days ago after years, hey, I have to thank these people. I have to email them. I have to be like, hey, I think about you. I remember what you did for me. I remember what you're doing for me. So, it just means so much. It means that I am going to be able to do what I want to do.
That's beautiful. And Josh, as you hear Anna's story, as you sit here as one of our leaders, one of our board members, and we a special shout out to all the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Miami board members who are listening, many of whom are listening today. Your leadership, your support, your generosity is priceless to us. But Josh, as you hear Anna's story, and as you think about all the talent that we have here with students like Anna, what's your message to any and everyone that's listening, Josh, about the importance of post-secondary support as well as mentoring?
It's one of those things where when we get to hear directly from students like Anna, that really gives us the perspective. Around this time last year, which was a very different world than we live in right now, I had the opportunity to go to Tallahassee and lobby on behalf of Take Stock in Children and Big Brothers Big Sisters, meet with some of the local representatives in South Florida, but also to hear the story of about a dozen students who were, had finished, and not finished, but had gone further down their journey than Anna has. They had just finished college, and they were entering into a Take Stock in Children leadership program that brought them into the post-secondary environment. These are people who were JAG officers, lawyers within the military, people who were going into residency for being doctors, all of which were students that were Take Stock children all throughout the state of Florida, because this is a statewide program and we're blessed to have it within our local community in Miami-Dade. But to hear their stories gives you the energy to do for the next group. So for the people, Anna, who are, 5 years your junior, it gives people like me the opportunity to sort of re-energize and reinvigorate ourselves. And the fact that, you have the foresight, which I did not have when I was your age, like, oh, wow, I need to send a thank you letter. I need to call the person who supported me. Those little things, they build relationships, they reinvigorate, so that way the next generation gets the same type of support that you do. So that's what mentorship does. It pays it back, it pays it forward, and it really is kind of a circle. And so in the post-secondary universe, as you're going on to college and grad school and you're going into the world, my hope, Gale's hope, and the organization's hope is that, you pay it forward, and that you reach out and that you help those that need it. And I could already tell that that's something that's going to, that you're going to do.
And speaking of paying it forward, and Anna, we're going to end with you as appropriate. And Josh, thank you for what you just said. It is so, I echo Josh's sentiments, Anna. And you were in high demand. Not only did you receive a plurality of scholarships, but based on my research, and you correct me if I'm wrong, because I got some pretty good sources around these parts, you were accepted to Penn Law. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Incredible. So so everybody understands, as Josh mentioned, the caliber and the talent and the potential of all these young people. But Anna, you chose Florida International University to study law. Tell us why.
Well, okay, Penn State accepted me. That's, an amazing school. And it meant so much to me that I got accepted into Penn State. I got accepted into other schools, but Florida International University was another option for me. Regardless of the scholarships I had, I have to say that Florida International University is an amazing school.
Yes.
Florida International University provides an amazing law program. And right now I'm not able to fully have the whole thing that it offers just because of the pandemic. But one of the main reasons I chose Florida International University, it was not only because it was an amazing school, it was because I also have a scholarship that pays full tuition for a Florida school. And I decided that Florida International University was that one school. Penn State is an amazing school. It represents so much to me that I got accepted into it. However, I had to take advantage of the things that I was able to earn. And those things offered me the opportunity to have a whole trip in the university paid for with everything. So I decided that for International University, besides being an amazing school, was the path that I should have taken rather than other university offered to me.
Well, you're being a good steward of the investment made in you to get the most bang for your buck, as they say. And Anna, we are just so proud of you on behalf of Josh, our board member, on behalf of the entire Big Brothers Big Sisters Miami board, and all the other littles and bigs and Take Stock family, because we are one big mentoring family. Mentorship plus scholarship equals citizenship. And as Josh said,
peanut butter something.
Peanut butter. Yes. I'm not as articulate as Josh when it comes to little peanut butter. So we give you a big Reese's hug, Anna Belen Rodriguez.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sis. Keep on keeping on. You are already paying us back, and it will only get better, just like peanut butter.
Thank you.
Josh Prever,
Absolutely.
Anna Belen Rodriguez, have a great weekend. Happy National Mentoring Month. If you want to get involved, to become a Take Stocks mentor, to get involved, bbbsmiami.org. We have a team ready to help you. bbbsmiami.org. Josh, Anna, all the best to you. Thanks for joining me today.
Bye.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
My
Thanks
pleasure.
for sharing your story, Anna.
Thank you.
Wow. What a way to kick it off. We have 2 more segments today. I hope you hang with us. We're not going all day like we did on Juneteenth. I need a break every now and then, but today we have 3 segments. You saw what we do. What we do is mentoring. We match kids. We invest in scholarships. What we achieve is what Anna Belen Rodriguez just showed us. A little sister, a Take Stock scholar that's going to the next level. Our next guest coming up in just a minute is a new school to work partner and an alumni big sister. Give me 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Coming up next, from Egon Zehnder, an alumni big sister, Carolyn Lombardi, coming up next on the Game of Life Mentoring Podcast. We are back, and we will get our next guest admitted right now. Let me go ahead and scan over here and make sure that she is with us. We have the one and only Carolyn Lombardi. Let's see, we'll get her here right now. Let's go to work.
Hi, Gale.
Hey, how are you? Now,
Good.
quick question. Carolyn or Caroline? You've been called both of them.
Caroline.
Sweet Caroline.
Thank you. That's you could sing it.
You've heard that too. So,
few times.
alumni big sister Caroline Lombardi, and now Egon Zehnder. Did I get that right, or Zehnder?
That's right, Zehnder, Egon Zehnder.
All right. I want to make sure I get our pronunciation. With a name like Gale, I've been called Gary, Glenn, Dale, you name it. So, Caroline, I want to make sure we get everything right. Thank you for being with us today, Caroline.
Thank you for having me.
It is an absolute pleasure. I reached out to a mutual friend, Linda Cole at the Carnival Foundation this morning and said, guess who I have as a guest on the Game of Life Community Conversation podcast? And she's tuning in right now, and maybe some of your former colleagues over at Carnival as well. So let's start by just talking about you and where you grew up and maybe who mentored you along the way, Caroline.
Sure. So I was born and raised in Chicago, so I'm one of those Miami transplants. In terms of who mentored me, I look at it two different ways. I think it started with me at home in that I had two parents who both worked and worked very hard and kind of instilled that value of, determination and grit and the importance of leveraging your talents and skills to do something in the world. So definitely that was a great start. And then when I was at the University of Miami, I was given a chance to have my first formal mentor, although I wished I could have had one earlier in life. She was a tremendous influence on me. Came from a different background from my family, had her own business in consulting, was serving on several public boards. And she brought me under her wing and kind of showed me what it looked like to do these really big executive things, and actually took me into a boardroom to show me what happened in these, meetings that people always wonder what's happening, and made it, more real. And it felt like something maybe one day I could do. And she certainly pushed me to be my best, no matter what, even when it came to business school, when other people said, Caroline, you don't look like the typical Harvard Business School candidate. You had a small job in marketing. You're not an investment banker. You look different. And she said, well, what are they talking about? Don't listen to them. Go for it. And because of that champion support, kind of outside the home, beyond just your parents who have to love you and support you, that perspective was really meaningful.
And with that in mind, I mean, just think about that. And so even with, sometimes there's biases and you don't look like the typical, I'm so glad through mentorship, you're able to rise above that. And so from an educational standpoint, go ahead and share your educational credentials, Caroline.
Sure. So my undergrad was University of Miami. I also, yes, the U. And before that, I had a great public school education in Chicago, which I'm really proud of. And then I went on to Harvard Business School, which was a tremendous opportunity. And what I would say about that, I do think, and my mentor suggested this, there's an element of luck to everything. So while people were saying, you don't look like the right candidate, you don't fit that profile of people who usually get in. You know what? I mean, sometimes it's not about the absolute smartest people in the world who get into Harvard. It's about a little bit of luck, and it was a very humbling experience, but a great one.
That's awesome. And just a message to all the littles, the bigs, and anyone that's listening. When someone says you can't, just keep on moving. And I don't say moving away, but you follow your dreams, you follow your potential. And I'm so glad you listened to your mentor, because that mentor just gave you that extra confidence to boost, just to be all that you can be. And speaking of mentorship, and certainly we're going to talk about the incredible, exciting new partnership with Egon Zehnder. But I want to talk about your mentoring experience at Carnival. You're an alumni big sister. We just had a little sister on the first segment of the show. I don't know if you had a chance to tune in or not, but that little sister graduated, and she's now at FIU. Go Golden Panthers. And she received some scholarships. Your little sister. And I want to steal the thunder. Tell us.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, talk about a transformational experience. I really think it was a transformational experience for me more than her. And through a great partnership between Carnival and Big Brothers and the great work of Linda Cole as a champion, I was inspired to become a big sister. And I met my little sister as a freshman, a shy, I hope she doesn't mind me saying this, but shy, kind of awkward freshman, right? She didn't know, a little nervous, really didn't know what this was all about. Clearly, she felt kind of a fish out of water. She's in this corporate environment. Everybody's a lot older. Everybody's dressed up. There's a lot going on. It's Carnival Cruise Line. There's big cruise ships, big fancy things, in our office. And her roots were really different from mine. So, and she shared with me the story of her mom coming from Nicaragua as a single mother who also worked very hard, like my mom. But no one in her family had gone to college. And that was kind of a question mark for her. Will I be able to make it? Will I be able to afford it? And she had always she had these dreams of maybe leaving Miami. But as she told me those early days, well, that's not really a path for me. I know that's not possible. It's just a pipe dream. And over the 4 years that we got to know each other, it was just remarkable. We had conversations that ranged, from academic to personal to fun. I mean, we were playing Scrabble, we were getting ice cream on the weekends, talking just about life, highlighting to her the many possibilities out there that felt without, too far away, not within reach. And so one of the things that I pushed her to consider is find a way. If you want to leave Miami, let's talk about how we can make that happen. Let's work on that plan. Let's look up the financial aid programs, the scholarships. You're a great student. Let's not let that stop you. And through that, she just took off, incredibly determined. Ended up going to college in Chicago at Columbia College. So, well, initially she thought, I'm just going to be in Miami. I might just have I'm not sure what I'll do, a local job. I might not go to college. She went off to get her degree in fashion merchandising in Chicago and had a couple jobs after school working for some big fashion houses in Chicago. So really exciting. And she shined and I got to know her mother as well and the family, and they were so proud of her and so happy for what she'd become. She saved up money to fly her family to Chicago for the very first time to see it. And then, as the story goes in our wild world, when COVID hit and the fashion industry got really, really damaged, she was laid off as kind of a newer hire. And she called me up and she said, Caroline, I need to talk to you. And I thought, okay, now my current career is an executive search. I need to laser focus. I need to help her. And that's not what she was calling me for. She said, here's what's happened. I've been laid off. I'm not going to sit around and feel sorry for myself. I know that I'm in charge of me. And so I have enlisted in the Navy. And so she is part of the Navy, U.S. Navy, and it's absolutely amazing. And again, similar, what we talked about was she doesn't look like what people would expect for someone who goes into the Navy, but she didn't let that stop her. So despite what people said, people may pass off their own judgment. Oh, you're not really cut out for the Navy, I mean, here's this girl from fashion merchandising, very stylish, circulating with people in Chicago and New York and fashion. And now she's going to serve our country. And she is completely committed. And I could not be prouder of her. And it's a relationship that will extend well beyond the formalities of the program, of your program. So
I just got to catch
remarkable.
My breath. Was she a Carnival Scholarship recipient as well?
She was.
So let's put that in perspective. Here's our big sister, Caroline, who was told you don't fit the typical profile, if you will, for Harvard Business School.
Yeah.
You rise above, do your thing. And you're from Chicago. Your little sister, immigrant
That's funny.
Nicaragua, shy, quote unquote, a little awkward. 4 years of mentoring in a Carnival Scholarship and Mentoring Program. You right by her side. She graduates, goes to Chicago.
Yes.
I mean,
it's a flip. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And now she's keeping us all safe. You were in her corner. Now she's protecting our country.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't get today, happy National Mentoring Month. If you don't get right now how important it is for corporations and individuals to invest in mentoring, just look no further than Exhibit A. Wow. We're going to call you guys the Windy City Match.
I love it.
I should have my own podcast one day. Who knows?
I love it. I love it.
Now let's talk about what you're doing now.
Sure.
Obviously, no longer at Carnival, but tell me about the company you work for now, what you all do and what your role is.
Sure. So it's a funny sounding name for people. We're called Egon Zehnder. And we are a global leadership advisory firm. So we do executive search. So we place CEOs and other kind of vice president and above levels. We place board members of public and private companies, and then we do executive development. So this is the coaching and mentoring of our executives. The belief we hold as a firm is really that we believe in transformational leadership, and we are in this for the long run. So we seek to build relationships with executives that last beyond just one transaction. We really want to follow our candidates and our clients through different experiences in their lives, in their journeys, and be there to help them. And one of the things that really ties to, why is this a fit? Part of our secret sauce as a firm is the way that we assess leadership with our assessment model. We look, among other things, for potential. And there's one thing to look at what somebody's done, where they've come from, tell me exactly what you've done so far. It's another thing to say, where could you go with the right resources? And so at the executive level, we're looking for things like curiosity, insight, engagement, and determination. And I think these are all really important things for today's youth as well. There is so much potential, and unlocking that is what I think Big Brothers is about. So, it felt like a really natural fit for our companies.
Incredible. And having said that, based on your incredible experience, as a big sister at Carnival, and now with Egon Zehnder, and with what you all are doing with unlocking potential in a corporate side, there's a new school to work partnership. It's National Mentoring Month. Mm-hmm. I wanted to use this opportunity with you to announce a new partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Miami and Egon Zehnder. Go ahead, tell us what we're about to do together.
We are so thrilled. So we are launching our partnership, and we are bringing together bigs from Egon Zehnder. We're a global firm, and we're really looking forward to scaling this as an organization. And we'll be matching up with littles to start in the Miami area. And, we think it's just a tremendous opportunity to take some of the skills we've been given as bigs in our professional lives and guiding and coaching and developing these executives, and dial it back and say, well, what about if we step a few steps back and do this with kids and help kids see all the possibilities and help them be their very best and help them believe in themselves, to have, a confidence in their potential and the confidence to go for things when people say, I don't think you're quite right. You don't, look right. You don't seem like the right fit. And one thing as a firm we believe, and we see over and over again, as we talk to the biggest executives at the biggest companies, publicly traded, real celebrities of sorts in the executive world, no great leader has small dreams. And I think instilling that in kids and saying, you have to dream big to get there. If you can't even envision there, you're limiting yourself. So we just cannot wait to build these relationships and hopefully have impact and on our community and more broadly.
I want to just thank you on behalf of our board, on behalf of me and my staff here. Thank you for your incredible leadership as a big sister, first and foremost, mm-hmm. as an individual, as a big sister, and now in this next chapter in your life, to remember the impact. And I remember when you emailed me, Gale, I had such a powerful experience. I think you have reached out to Linda as well. I need to do this with my new firm. And so thank you for not only the support, but the individuals that will be incredible bigs, just like you are, as well. Let me just take a step back. Let's talk about your little sister one more time.
Sure.
I don't think we called her name. What's your little sister, or your alumni little sister from Carnival's name?
Karen Ortega.
Yes. So, and where is she now physically? Is she still in the States, or is she, and if you can't share this based on, military intelligence, I certainly understand. Where is she now?
She, I think, is in Chicago, unless she's in transit to Chicago right now. She was back in Miami for a little bit, but being based in Chicago.
Incredible. So I'm just thinking about, we think about this mentorship and the new school to work partnership, we're so excited to launch with Egon Zehnder. As we think about Karen and what she has done, did you get a chance to see any of her? Was she in the fashion show? She was, what was her role in terms of this fashion and is the business side? Tell us a little bit more about that, because that's fascinating.
Sure. So really the business side of fashion. So merchandising and working with retail to figure out what to buy, how to display it, how to price it. And, I think it was, I saw her shine. I saw her light up, find a way to use her creativity and her care and kind of bring humanity into fashion. Again, an industry that, maybe people would assume doesn't have a lot of humanity. Karen has the biggest heart of anyone I've ever met. And I'm reflecting on, you just thanked me for the partnership, and I'm thinking here, why are you thanking me? And I want people to know that I want to thank you, because it really is, I believe the bigs get more out of this than anybody. It is humbling. It is grounding. It is really thought provoking as a professional and a personal level, to think about how what can feel like small conversations build and lead to this impact in someone's life. It has wildly surprised me how close Karen and I have become, and how convinced I am that we will, we'll never leave each other's side. I mean, we've been writing each other. She's got this really official government address. My kids are sending her pictures and she's sending notes back to them and to me. It's a gift to be part of this program and to, have someone let you into their life in a really personal way and show you some things that, sometimes are difficult to see, where people's backgrounds have been more challenging. It's real. This is real life. And it's a privilege to have someone let you in and help guide them.
And when you think about that, and I'm so glad you went there, for those of you that are thinking about becoming a big, or you see this as, let me come in and fix a kid, Karen did not need fixing. The potential was already there. Our mission, and you've alluded to it so many times, I got to take you on a road with me, as a matter of fact. And the mission of Big Brothers, Big Sisters is to ignite the power and promise of our youth, not to fix kids because they're not broken. They need our love and support and consistency. Mm-hmm. And what you mentioned, but when people say to me all the time, and to the staff and to our board, I signed up to be a big, I'm getting more out of it. So when one person mentors, 2 lives are changed forever. And it is so, so heartwarming. It never gets old for me to hear. It's just like great jazz music for me. When I hear a big say to me, we are staying in touch, we will never leave each other's side. That's exactly why we come to work every day, Karen. And for you to talk about your kids. Now, your kids are to your little, so you guys are family. Is that safe to say?
Well, she has been with me, it's funny because she also was with me before I had kids. Wasn't sure I was going to have kids. The next thing you know, I have 2 children. She even babysat for them at a certain point. They adore her. They ask about her. Can't wait to get her letters. So it's, I never anticipated in a million years this program would run so deep in me personally and extend in my family. So
mentoring is family. As we think about this new partnership in School to Work, and as we think about the impact of mentoring, what are some of the goals you have for this new School to Work partnership? You've seen it personally, you've been a part of it while at Carnival. And we're going to work together on this. Obviously, this is a team, this is a partnership. No 2 matches are alike. But what are some, as you think about what we're about to do together in the School to Work context, what are some of your goals?
Definitely getting kids to dream big and to give them a glimpse of possibilities. So I think, everyone defines success differently. And in the seats that we have on the executive search side, we see people who have been, financially very successful. Doesn't mean that they're happy. Doesn't mean that that's the right path for everybody. And so being able to share some personal stories of what we see in market, what we hear, again, from some of the big leaders out there, I think can illuminate things for these kids. I also think, giving kids a chance to understand that there may be others with similar roots as theirs who've made it to the CEO level, if that's something that they want. There is no doubt that there is an issue today with inequality in this country and a lack of diverse leadership. And so we as a firm want to do everything we can to provide a path and to share as much knowledge as we can to make every kid successful in whatever way they want to be. And so that to us is why we want to do this. We really want to inspire. We want to set kids on the path that they're meant to be on and let nothing get in their way, no matter what kind of background they're coming from, whether or not they might have people telling them, no, you'll never make it that way. We want to help push all that out of the way and say, yes, you can. And here's examples of people who have done that. And here's how I'm going to help you get there.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. And it's companies like yours that make that commitment to equality and equity and diversity and inclusion. Because as we think about the future and what you saw, remember when we would sit in that cafeteria over at Carnival, you'd look around and it's 110 plus bigs and littles total, and you saw America.
Yeah.
I mean, the not based on not just race or ethnicity, the language is spoken. So here's Karen coming in as a freshman. I'm sure you can see that in your mind, walking in that cafeteria, quiet, reserved, a little awkward. At what point do you think she broke through in terms of, and of course it's a journey, as we always say, mentoring is a journey. But when did that light bulb come on? You said, you know what, look at this. At what point do you think that occurred?
I think the first year is really about building the foundation of the relationship and getting the little to trust you. And that's not easy. As I looked around at other pairs, people come into it differently. Some take longer to open up. With Karen, by that end of the first year, she had let her guard down. She trusted me. We got deeper in the conversations. We took it from kind of surface, superficial, workshoppy exercises to real life. What's really going on? What are you really feeling? Where are your fears? What do you really dream about? So I think it comes in different speeds, but I think part of the recipe you have that works is keeping a pairing over time. So you're, whether it's 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, ideally it's the entire high school time, I think is, the ideal match to stay with them through the college application process, make sure they get over that hurdle. Because life gets tough. And I think now more than ever, look at this year and the economic loss. A lot of families out of work, never expected to be. Suddenly college probably seems even farther away. But with the right mentor and push and kind of illuminating, there are other ways that you may not have heard of yet. Let me tell you about them. That's impact.
No question. And you've answered this in so many different ways. But as you think about what you've done with your investment of your time, now your family got bigger. And literally, so your two beautiful children, Karen, your little sister that's part of the family, and for all individuals and all those businesses that are thinking about, well, I've heard about this mentoring thing. It's nice. Well, I submit to everyone, mentoring is not just nice, it's necessary. Just see Exhibit A, Karen Ortega.
Absolutely.
So what's your message to everybody out there, Caroline? I'll let you get the last word. What's your message as it relates to mentoring and why it is so important?
Do it. Put it in practice. Stop talking about it. It's not just about throwing money at something. It is about leveraging your skills and talents to help people. Humans need each other. Money's great, but there's nothing that replaces a human connection. The rewards on both sides are incredibly more powerful than you can imagine. From an employer side, what I observed is a much greater community, even within our organization. Those bigs, we were really connected, and we looked at each other and we were proud of each other. You've taken time out of your really busy, hectic schedule at work, your hectic family life, and you're committing to this. It adds a new level of respect for each other and understanding. And I do think it actually inspires loyalty as well, because these relationships with the littles are so deep that I could never have imagined leaving my employer in a time when I was getting my little through high school. So I think there are a lot of benefits that may not be obvious that bring an employee community together and drive engagement and drive loyalty, and make employees better listeners, more thoughtful, and better humans in a corporate environment.
What I love about that, and I say this humbly, because oftentimes people look at the nonprofit, the community-based organization, they're coming and asking for something. Well, no, and what you just mentioned is the business case. Yeah. It's the value proposition. And we're listening to a highly educated big sister, highly educated Harvard grad saying, wait a minute, knock, knock businesses. You partner with big brothers, big sisters, you will not only enhance your workforce, increase loyalty, increase retention. So I guess the best thing for me to say is you're welcome.
Thank you. That is the best thing you could say, truly.
But I say that humbly, and I say that in the spirit of partnership and full transparency. We can work together, and guess what? The workforce of the future is being trained, exposed to the corporate culture.
Absolutely.
And so as you all go through your executive searches and placements, I'm so pleased to not only partner with you all in the space of school to work, but also some of our alumni to maybe to go through your leadership training program as well.
Absolutely. That is the dream. There are a lot of big dreams we're not even talking about today. We'll make them happen.
Well, Caroline, it has been such a pleasure
Thank you.
to have you on the show, to reconnect and to see how well you're doing, and to reach back and to enhance the lives of future Karen Ortegas, if you will, because there's some other little girls out there, other little boys out there who may have been told, not just once or twice in their life, but maybe even at home, in the neighborhood, at their schools, and wherever they matriculate, that you cannot do that. The answer, as you just heard from Big Sister Caroline, is yes, you can. And don't ever let anyone tell you you can't. So all the best to you, my dear. Happy National Mentoring Month.
Thank you. Right back at you.
All right.
Thank you. Take
Bye.
care. Bye.
What can I say? National Mentoring Month. I am on fire today. Here we are. Game of Life Mentoring Podcast, Community Conversation. Follow me on IG at Coach Gale 69. Follow us at BBBS Miami, because guess what? We had Ana Belen Rodriguez, alumni little sister. We also had our alumni big sister, Caroline Lombardi, new school to work partner. That's providing support and matches. That's what I call a win-win. And so coming up on the show, let me share this with you right now. Coming up next, let me work my magic here. We got something real special. Award-winning Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Miami. Award-winning, recently given an award of the Staff Person of the Year from the community, from the Children's Trust in our community. Ned Edwards, Community Engagement Specialist, and Michelle Petithomme. I do that in that Creole. Former Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Miami staff, and alumni little brother Sammy, and a bonus, we got Ishmael as well. So let me bring these guys in just a second. So stand by. Let me bring them in and we will go to work. Stand by.
I think I got it. Hold on. I can't hear you.
There we go. I guess I'm unmuted. I'm trying to talk to you, Ishmael. I'm the host. I know better than that, my brother. So good to see Ishmael. I see we got Sammy on the line as well. I see we got the award-winning Ned Edwards and my main man that I have not seen in a long time. And here we go. Some call you Mitch. I'm going to break it down. Michelle Petithomme. How you doing? How you doing, Mitch?
I can't complain, brother. I'm doing fine. I can't complain. God has been good, you know.
Oh, man, thank God for that. I mean, you know what? You still got that baby face too, brother. Do you?
Hey, I thank God for, like I said, man, God has been good. 45, I'll be 46 at the end of this month here.
Is it the shea butter? Is it what? Just tell me what it is. Just put it in a bottle and bring it to me. Well, gentlemen, thank you. Brothers, thank you for being here today. I'm Gale Nelson, President and CEO of Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Miami. It is an absolute pleasure to look at this screen and we've had on this show, you're the third and final segment. We had an alumni little sister who graduated, got some college scholarships doing her thing. We had an alumni big sister that talked about how she impacted a little girl's life. And that little girl now not only went to college, got her degree. That little girl is now serving the United States Navy. That's how we roll in terms of impacting lives. And now with all of you, and I'm going to start with you, Mitch. You have impacted so many. I don't even know if you realize. I called you the mayor. You know, when I started here at Big Brothers in 2006, and everybody knows you, brother. I said Mitch is like the mayor, but I don't know if you just truly understand how much you've influenced and how much we appreciate what you have done. There would be no Ned without you. Just to put that in perspective, I'll let Ned. I want to steal Ned's thunder on that. But Mitch, when did you start at Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Miami? And tell everybody just the things you did while you were with us, brother.
It started back in 2003. I used to work for an organization called the Nonviolence Project. And what I did back in 1998 up to 2001 and 2, we went to different schools and recreational centers and spoke to kids about the importance of making right choices. So I would be the presenter. We would go to a school and fill the auditorium up, and I would do a presentation. And I found great success in that. But the thing is, I want to have more interaction with the kids. I want to not just come in and talk for an hour and don't never see the kids again. I want to be part of something where I can interact with the kids. And then all of a sudden I went somewhere, and there's a gentleman that used to work for Big Brothers, Big Sisters. And he says to me, would you like to be part of Big Brothers, Big Sisters? I'll be honest with you, I've never heard of Big Brothers, Big Sisters, back in 2002 or 2001. I said, yeah. He said, and he said, hey, come by the office and so on or whatever. And I went by there and met with Renee and so on. And then they told me, hey, look, if you're interested, then we'll be glad to bring you on. So that's how I got involved with Big Brothers, Big Sisters in 2003.
2003. And I came here in 2006. Now, when did you meet Ned?
Ned, you came right after me, or?
No, I started working for Big Brothers in 2005. And through Sabrina and I worked at the Village together, and then she started working at Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I saw her one day. It was just God. She said, you want to work a part-time job? It's with kids. I'm like, I don't know, I never worked with kids, I was in the beginning, the first 4 years of getting my life straight, and I never worked with kids. I didn't have any kids. And she said, well, it's a good job, the only thing you have to do is drive. So I said, okay. So I had an interview with Renee, and she explained to me what I'll be doing and who I'll be working with, which was you. And I still didn't meet you for about a week. And once we started picking up kids, we met, and instantly, I seen the passion that you had, Mitch, for these kids, I mean, as far as, we were so into these kids as far as after school activities, and we would play with them. Mitch would come from a business meeting or something with his church shoes on and everything. We'd still be playing football. Yeah, it was an experience, and it just rubbed off. It took a while. It took about a year you know, but it rubbed off that passion for kids, for his community, you know. And
Well, thank you for that. And I know, and you go Sam and Ishmael, and I want to just hear from you two in terms of tell us your story. And you can be as real and raw as you can be, family program, but tell us your story and some challenges that you faced as well. So let's start with you, Sam.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey there, how you guys doing today?
Doing well, sir.
good to see you, Sammy.
So I don't really know where to really start. Just basically when I first started Big Brother Big Sister, I think it was grade, and it was Miss Rubin, and Little River was still called Little River. She put me a part of Big Brother Big Sister because just because I just came from a car wreck and I just didn't have that much friends. It just came from a not just a bad upbringing, but I had a bad experience with a car wreck. So I was out of school for about 2 months. I broke my femur, and I had to learn how to walk again. So I missed a lot of time. So just to get me back into school and get me back around like system, just getting into that environment was just, I don't know. This day is just something that I still look forward to because as I got older, I started mentoring myself. You understand what I'm saying? So it was a great experience, just all around. I learned how to swim for you guys, like just simple stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know where to start, to be honest with you. It's so much. It's so much.
How old are you now, Sam? How old are you now?
I'm 23.
23. And so you were about what age? You were in elementary school when you got involved with us?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I was still involved about middle school, not that much because I went to Spirit and I stopped in contact with them. I got kicked out, believe it or not. I got kicked out of Spirit, and then I went back to Voice Man. And that's when Mitch grabbed me again and then got back into my life. And I just had the experiences that, just had male experiences, not boy experiences. I had the chance to really get in contact with men and have experiences that didn't steer me in the wrong direction, if I can say, you know what I'm saying? So it was a great experience. Like I said, it made me want to actually mentor kids when I got older. I actually went to mentor, before I graduated from Bethune-Cookman University, I actually mentored for a program called Black Male College Explorers. And throughout that program, what we did was we mentored diverse youth in the community of Volusia County. And just throughout that, it just having that experience with you guys made me be able to just put myself around them. That I don't have to sugarcoat stuff. I don't know that I don't have to lie to them. I can tell them how it is. And by that experience, we was able to go to so much different places, just like how you guys brought us to schools, fairs, went to see different museums and things of that nature. Same thing with Male College Explorers. It's just like I said, it's just the experience. It steered me in the right way. It really did. That's why.
Let me hit the pause button for a minute, young brother, because I want people to understand what you just said. You grew up where? In Little Haiti?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Little Haiti. Was it a challenge in the neighborhood? Were there some challenges in the neighborhood?
That's an understatement.
I got you, brother. What were some of the challenges? Because some people need to be educated. What were some of the challenges? And Ishmael, you're gonna help me out too, young brother. Go ahead. What were some of the challenges?
Yeah, it's too much different things. I don't see people get killed. I've seen so much different things, man. I done carried a homeboy who done got shot. I done seen a young girl get shot in the head. Like I made a poem about that. I seen a young girl get shot in the head. I seen so much different things. It's just those experiences led me to know that's not what I wanted. If I didn't have people to tell me, show me what I didn't want, you know what I'm saying? Because if Mitch didn't tell me his story, I wouldn't know that I didn't want to go down that path. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's organic. It was a way for me to really be able to be myself and also go down the right direction.
Yes, sir. Now, you are now a college graduate.
Yes,
you went over that real fast, but I want to bring that back because, young brother, we are proud of you. You said Mitch grabbed you. Then Mitch grabbed Ned, and Ned was probably harder to grab than you. So we won't deal with that right now. But when you think about what you have accomplished, tell us what you're a graduate of the Bethune-Cookman College. Is that correct?
I graduated with a 3.0 GPA and a bachelor's in psychology, and I plan on going back for my master's with educational psychology, and then I want to become an attorney. Also writing a book at the moment. So it's a lot of things that I plan on doing. It's college is just one step. It's just one step along my path. Just a lot of things I plan on doing.
I love that.
And it's thanks to Big Brother Big Sister, to be honest. Thanks to Ned, because like I said, if I didn't have those experiences and actually witness people that was doing things the right way, I wouldn't be able to know that I could actually do things right. You know what I'm saying? Because if all I seen was violence, and all I seen was that's what I thought all I had. And once I seen people doing things positively and doing things differently, I knew I could do things differently myself. You know what I'm saying? That's why even to this day, I still mentor people, even though I'm not working for the same program. I still mentor individuals that I came across throughout that program. And just anytime I come in contact with young individuals, I just try to that little bug in their ear.
Understood. Thank you, Sam. Ishmael, when did you get started with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Miami?
Greetings, guys. How you guys doing? Thank you guys so much for allowing me to be a part of this show, man. I'm truly honored. My story began with Big Brothers Big Sisters probably around 2005. Probably around 2005. I believe I was still going to Little River, I believe. At the time, it was called Little River. It wasn't Jesse J. McCurry. It was Little River. And I don't remember how I got involved in it, but I remember Mitch presence and Ned they just kind of like popped up out of nowhere. Like, I kind of was raised in a similar neighborhood and environment as Mitch. I'm from Biscayne, so I was raised around like 79th Street, 80, 81st, 88, 85th, 86, around that area. I was a kid from that environment. So Little River, Horseman, Edison, I was a kid that could have fell through one of those cracks. You know what I mean? I had a father in my life, but he was an artist and it was pretty much survival mode. Like, I grew up in a Haitian household, meaning the experiences that I got to have with Big Brother Big Sisters, I wouldn't have had it with my family unless I was a part of this program, meaning my parents were trying to make ends meet. They were working multiple jobs and just in that survival mode instinct where it kind of felt like love was kind of lost at home. But when I was with Ned and Mitch, I knew I was going to eat that night. I knew for a fact I was going to get to express myself that day. I knew for a fact when I was around Mitch, I was going to get some type of inspiration, this passion, this conviction that I'm speaking of right now. It comes from none other than Mitch. Mitch was pretty much the guy who allowed me to come out of my shell. I was a kid who, like I said, I always had passion, but I didn't know how to express it. I wasn't confident enough to allow this beacon, this light to shine everywhere I went. You know what I'm saying? And Mitch had this, and I noticed Mitch had this talent where he can come in a room, he can spot someone's weakness and allow it to become your strength. Do you see what I'm saying? Like Mitch seen something in me. He seen like what I was saying was he seen my shyness. He seen areas where I shied away. And Mitch would come to me and like bring it into awareness and bring it to my attention and say, hey, it's okay. You can do this. You can jump off that diving board. It's okay to not wear a shirt, even if I felt like I had man boobs back then. It's okay. Everyone, there's no judgment in this environment. So Mitch created that doorway. Do you understand? I caught my first touchdown through Big Brothers Big Sisters. I ended up going D1. Mitch, oh man, I could go on and on with Mitch, man. I'm gonna just pause here. And Ned, come on now. That's like, I know they got this thing where they say Superman and Batman, but it was Batman on Batman. It was not no sidekick. Ned was equally inspirational. It was fire on fire. It was passion in that room. You overcoming every fear. Ain't no fear in that room. Oh, you scared to talk in public? Oh, Mitch gonna make sure you talk in front of everybody before you go home. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was passionate. Oh yeah. I am the man I am based on the inspiration I got from Mitch and Ned.
Ishmael,
It goes deep. It goes deep.
Ishmael, hold on 1 second, brother. I've had a number of podcasts. I have guests on here, corporate leaders. I've had, celebrities. Brother, I had to wipe my tear to see, and let me be as real as it gets. This podcast is about race, relationships, and resources, and it's a community conversation. And when I think about young brothers, young Black men Black boys. You both got involved with this, with Big Brothers Big Sisters, when you were at not Little River Elementary. I was about to say Jesse J, but let's take it back to the roots. Little River, and these Black men came into your lives, and what you just said. We're going to talk about what you're doing now, Ishmael. The confidence, the not taking no for an answer. The fact that you would have, I remember those guys bringing in the receipts. We fed the boys today. We fed the boys today. I just want to say, Mitch and Ned, thank you is not enough. So when I saw Mitch's face, and you got Mitch tearing up, you got me tearing up. Ned too cool to tear up, but again, I know he's a softie too. You all are why we come to work every day. And Ishmael, we talked about Sam and what he's doing right now. You play football D1. You probably caught that touchdown over me. I was trying to chase you guys. They bring the boys. We play flag football at FIU. And I'm thinking, I'm back here acting like I'm a quarterback playing defense. You boys would roll in. And I went home humbled every time. What are you doing now, Ishmael?
So right now, my wife and I'm married, happily married. I got 2 kids now, going on 3. God bless. Happily married, and my wife and I, we own our own business now. We own our business. It's called Bless Love Healing Co. It's an all natural company where we're pretty much trying to fill in those gaps where in the minority neighborhoods where we come from, it's a lot of people who fall into the cracks of just lack of knowledge. I don't want to use the term ignorance. I use lack of knowledge because they just don't know. You know what I mean? And we come in and we have the alternative of natural medicine, day in, day out. We give thanks to the Honorable Dr. Sabi. It was a time where we put our own bodies through different experiments, the boldness, the confidence, putting our body through multiple fasts and meditation, and we was able to come up with this business to heal the nation. So it's a beautiful thing. We're serving. We're creating a bridge where some people they're just looking for that natural alternative. I come from a Haitian background. Everything is herbs, everything is teas, everything is natural, organic, and I feel like this world would be a much better place if we could become back one and spread love and be back in tune with our roots. Know who you are, know where you come from, and bring that light into this world and serve others. And I think what we're doing is impactful. Our clients are coming from all over the place. I'm talking about we're blessed. Like we're having clients from overseas that's looking to get help from my wife and I, like through our knowledge. So that's what we're doing right now. We're serving. That's the term. We're serving.
Congratulations on that. And I'll do what I did with Sam before I go to Mitch and Ned. Here we are, this little boy who needed that confidence, who had, like you said, mom and dad working hard, but Mitch and Ned come in and just really provide that spark and to be there for you and Sam. And now you are a husband, you are a father. And what I love about that, you said, you are, happily married, faithful husband. Let's not just gloss over that. We're dealing here with two former little boys who are now college educated. One is married with children, business owner, entrepreneur, and college educated. That is the power of mentoring. And for everybody tuning in today, please understand, this is why it's so important to get in the mentoring space. And so congratulations, Ishmael, on that as well. Mitch, when you hear all of this, I saw your face.
Brother, I can't, you have to understand why the passion. I mean, remember my story. I was born in Haiti, came over here in 1984 at the age of 9, got myself into trouble. Then at 20 years old, a light came on. I realized that, man, these young kids, they just don't know what's out there. So my ultimate goal was basically to expose them. I remember when I used to ask my mom to go to a field trip. We didn't have enough money. She didn't have enough money. I mean, it wasn't much, $10. I didn't have $10 to give to the school to go to a field trip. When my friends would come to school and talk about they had a picnic, they had this, they had that. We didn't have that experience. As Ishmael said, My parents was just working hard. They was just working, trying to survive. So I had this vision. I said, wow, we can't, since Big Brothers Big Sisters is in Little Haiti, we don't have enough mentor to do one-on-one match. We'll do group mentoring. So Renee had a fund, there was special funding with Children and Family, that they said, look, we can do mentoring with 20 kids per month, actually 20 kids per quarter. And I'm like, okay, I will do that. We just basically take them out on a quarterly basis. So that's what we did. And like Ishmael mentioned, what I try to install in him is self-confidence. What I try to install in him is self-acceptance. I want him to understand Ishmael was a little chubby little kid. He didn't want to take his shirt off. We would go to the pools and the boys didn't want to take their shirt off because they're like, man, I got girl boobs. I said, what do you mean you got girl boobs? I said, you just got fat. You can work out, you can exercise, you can get rid of that. So sometimes I said, you're not getting in the pool until you take your shirt off. They're like, well, I'm not getting in the pool. I said, no, you're getting in the pool. Take your shirt off. It's okay. What's wrong with taking your shirt off? I don't want people to do that. I say, nobody's going to laugh at you here. You're going to take your shirt off. You're going to enjoy the pool. Okay. And I said, you're young. You're 12, 13 years old. I said, by the time you're 15, 18 years old, you can do push-up, 100 push-up a night for a year. You would see the difference. And that was the basic things. And I took them out. We didn't go to fancy restaurant in Algale. We went to Taco Bell. We went to McDonald's, And like
our own sandwiches.
Yeah. Like Ishmael said, sometimes that little meal, they were looking forward for it, And then I didn't know that. I didn't know that some of these kids would go home. And later on, I kind of found out, put two and two together. Some of them came just for the sandwich. They came just for the meal. But what I did is basically took the advantage of the opportunity. While you're here, I'm going to teach you something, And it doesn't take long to mentor a kid. It doesn't take long to teach a child something, 15 minutes of a rap session. Okay, we bring up a topic. Let's talk about this today. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? Giving them a different perspective from someone who's been there on the other side, once thug, hoodlum, trying to represent to the fullest. But representing what? What are you representing? You basically represent something that can't represent you. Like I said, I made a lot of poor decisions. And it was like, I look back like that. That was stupid. That was dumb. But a lot of these kids are following that path. A lot of these young men grow up. They don't have a father. They're not connected with their father. And they're basically looking up to the guys on the street as their role models. And Ishmael was a little chubby little kid. He wasn't coordinated. And we were playing flag football out there in Legion Park. And I said, go out there. And sometimes they'd throw the ball. He couldn't catch the ball. The ball went over him. And one day he caught the ball. And that built up his confidence. And he said, he caught the ball and he played for Hialeah. Because we played flag football on a kiddie level, but it built up his confidence that he was able to catch the ball. And he kept going. And I tell the kids all the time, not every kid is going to be able to catch a ball. Okay, I'm 45 years old. I couldn't catch a ball, as hard as I tried. But there's other potentials that you have. It's not just about sports. Okay, you can have full potential, but you have to be exposed. These kids are not exposed. The minute they start getting exposure, they start seeing other people like themselves that are out there. This is where it starts. They start having a vision, start having a dream. And I tell them, hey, short-term goal. Don't worry about 5 years from now. Don't worry about 10 years from now. Start off with the short-term goal. Set short-term in a week or 2 weeks. I've had kids who was chubby. Now I see them, man, their muscles are bigger than mine, girls. Because they started off with the simple thing, doing 50 push-ups a day, sets of 10s, 5 sets of 10s a night. And all of a sudden they went up, and now today they're into working out.
Well, Mitch, I tell you what, I'm happy to report to all of you, that same program, Big Expressions, is still being funded by Miami-Dade County, and it continues. And it goes without saying, Sam, Ishmael, you all will come back and be guest speakers to talk to some of our kids because you are the product of what we do. Thumbs up on that, gentlemen. Can we do that, Sam and Ishmael? Excellent, excellent. Ned, are we seeing these young men, these grown men now that are doing positive things in our community? How does it make you feel, Ned?
Man, I'm just thoroughly convinced that the power of mentoring, this is the end result of mentoring, these young men right here, I didn't realize how much power we had over these kids, but look at them. Just look at these two right here, man. One thing me and Mitch did have in common was we knew what not to do to be successful. We was from the streets, and we could teach these kids the foundation of what not to do to become successful in life. And these kids, most of our kids, just like Ishmael and Sammy, they're going on to have families and live productive lives. And that's what this is all about.
Yes, sir.
That's in a nutshell. That's
Also, mentoring is like a two-way street. While you mentoring others, it's almost like you get to heal for yourself. I mean, it's something about it. It's not just, some of these kids think that, oh, I got this good. I got a lot out of it. I mean,
yeah.
I'll be honest with you, there are certain things that I thought about doing, but because I was in that position of being a leadership, a mentor, I had to think twice. Was it really worth it? Because if I do that, I'm not only, it's almost like I'm throwing away everything that I've worked for, okay? Mm-hmm. And I'm also going to be, they're going to look at me like, oh yeah, look at Mitch, our mentor, he did this and he did that, he said this. So it helps me to stay on point. It helps me to stay in line. Yeah. Okay, so mentoring is like a two-way street. Not just you mentoring the child, but it's almost like the child mentoring you. But you even realize that you be a mentor.
Yeah. Sammy and I had a conversation with it was Sunday, and I was telling him, you changed my life just as much as we changed yours. So it was just a blessing to have access to the development of these kids' lives, man. This is such a blessing,
I want to let Sam and Ishmael close us out. Sam, you're talking to all the kids. Both of you have the same question. You're talking to other little kids in Little Haiti right now. And that little boy, little girl, wherever they may live, that are listening to this or they may view this, what's your message to kids in terms of this being the best they can be? And Ishmael, you'll come after Sam.
One thing, I think it's gonna stick with me to the day I die. Mitch used to always instill in us critical thinking. Just think it through. That's all it takes for everything. Just think it through. Think about what can happen if you do this. End result. You know what can happen. You know what I'm saying? So that's something to this day. That's all I think about. I weigh my pros and my cons. You know what I'm saying? If I know if I go down this road, it's nothing but jail or me being killed or to that, why would I even take that chance? Critical thinking. That's all it's about, bro. As long as you think about what you're doing, that's all it takes, bro. People don't think. A lot of times we live in an environment where we just reactionary. Just go. We just react. But if we can actually go through what we're going through, not just push through it, if you get what I'm saying, if we actually examine what we're going through, then everything will be smooth and we'll be able to, like he said, just have a positive life, bro. Because where we come from, bro, I don't even like speaking on things of that nature because it's just I try to leave it behind. That's how I view it, the past, and I try to move on forward. And this program, just mentoring, period. To this day, I still have mentors that I've come across and I stay in contact with. Mentoring can get you across so much different things. It's you can have a financial mentor, you can have a life mentor, you can have so much different mentors. You have billionaires that still have mentors to this day. It's just mentoring can change your life. And it's not just having someone mentor you, but mentoring someone else too can also change somebody's life. And that's just, I feel like that's the biggest thing too. You got to pay it forward. You can't just take what you get and then just stop. You got to pay it forward. It's big.
Thank you, Sam. Ishmael, close us out. You're talking to all the little kids, and not only Little Haiti, but kids everywhere. What's your message about mentoring and doing the right thing?
Okay, so my message for the kids, because this message comes from a father point of view, because I have kids of my own. So what will I tell my kids? Based on the energy and mindset that I got from Mitch and Ned, in a few words, I'm gonna say choose kindness, gratitude, be thankful for everything that you have, because that's gonna be the key to unlock you to get more. Be generous, share when you have. Be respectful, no matter how much muscles you physically have. Be respectful. Confidence, and always in everything you do it with some sort of integrity and morale about yourself. And I want to share this story um, from an observation that I made as a kid. And it was several times Mitch and Ned, I used to notice they had like vouchers and stuff, right? We go to like, we didn't go to, like Mitch said, we didn't go to the fanciest restaurants. And that's why no matter how much money I have, me and my family, we're so down to earth. Like we're we're so thankful because we know where we come from. So there were times where Mitch and Ned, they would have, I would hear them talking about like they're running out of vouchers and stuff, right? But then Mitch and Ned will come out of their own pocket. This is to show the character these guys had. They will come out of their own pocket and buy Cuban bread loaves, lunch meat, mustard, mayo, cheese, and make sandwiches. And those were some of the best tasting sandwiches I ever had in my life. I'm talking about, man, I had steak.
That's when we were low on funds, Gale.
Oh, man.
We were low on funds, and we couldn't go to McDonald's. We couldn't go. So I bought the French bread from Publix for $1.99, and I bought the cheese, the ham, and we cut it up, and then we gave sandwiches.
Oh, yes.
And
Go ahead and unmute Ishmael. Go ahead and unmute Ishmael.
Unmute.
Okay, and I feel like those are some of the memories we'll have, like when we're on our deathbeds. Like we're not worried about the material. We're not worried about how much money we gain. We're not worried about the popularity. We're not worried about any of those things. We're worried about those moments, those exact moments that another person allowed you to have. Man, I aspire to touch millions of lives. Me, my wife and I, we talk about this every day, about building a foundation, and I'm gonna go ahead and just sprinkle some of this out. I don't care, it's gonna manifest, it's gonna happen. I aspire to build a foundation that has a technology center, rock climbing, scientific labs, gyms, a racetrack upstairs, and a stage for kids to express themselves. Man, like, I know I'm not an emotional person, but so much emotion that's flowing through right now. You know what I'm saying? This is who you guys created. Like, people ask me, what's my occupation? What do I do? I say, I don't know. I'm just a creative. I just have a knack to see things, and I see spaces where it can be filled to better someone's life. So I just picture myself as a creative, and I wouldn't have this mindset and this imagery, this imagination, if you guys didn't allow me to have an imagination to think for myself. You guys allowed me to question things. Like, don't just allow life to just pass you by. You guys allow me, okay, for example, Mitch will be like, okay, you made this decision. Why did you make this decision? What was the reason? Everything should have a reason. Why did you do this? Why did you do that? And as a kid, you learn to not just do things for no reason. You learn to be aware of the decisions that you make. And that's power.
That is
and
power.
It didn't take money to do that. It took a little time and a little bit of presence. That's all it took. That's all I got to share. Thank you.
That was a lot.
I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Ishmael, Sam, Mitch, Ned, gratitude, critical thinking. It didn't take the money, it took the time and the care and the love to see this group of Black men together. We're showing the love and respect back to one another. Space of mentoring on behalf of everybody that's ever been a part of this organization and those who certainly lead and are part of it now. I thank each and every one of you, and this will not be the last time we all get together, because I want to host what I call an alumni celebration when it's safe to do so. And guess what? We may even get some bread and some bologna and ham. Hey, I tell you what, I don't mind that, but you can best there'll be some shrimp on the table too. And everybody can pick whatever they want to eat. That's on me. You have my promise. I love you, brothers. Thank you for what you've done. All the best to you and your families.
Same to you,
Thanks.
Gale.
Same here.
Thank you.
Thank you, brothers.
Thank
All
you.
right, take care.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Yeah,
Blessings.
blessed.
As we close out on this Game of Life Mentoring podcast, I want to thank all of my guests that were on the show today. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show, and not only have you on the show, but to really, really just think about what we've done, past, present, and certainly even future staff. Thank you. But most importantly, today, this is about celebrating National Mentoring Month. And on behalf of the board, on behalf of me and my team here at Big Brothers Big Sisters, thank you all for being a part of the solution, because the cost of doing nothing is far too high. On behalf of Anna Belen Rodriguez, on behalf of little sister Karen Ortega, and you saw the little brother Sam and Ishmael that are all grown up and they're paying us back. Have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in. Game of Life Mentoring Podcast, where everybody makes a team, but how you play is up to you.